Hey, what's up, zoners, and welcome to the earliest waiver wire show on the planet. Today, I'm going to be going over all the players on your waiver wire I think that you should pick up and how much you should spend on them. I know, man, I don't have any money either. We have a quarterback that you're going to hate me for. You're going to hate me for telling you to pick him up. Well, guess what, dude? This guy has 7+ rushing attempts and a rushing touchdown in each of his last 2 games. And now he gets Tampa Bay, who gives up the most points, and then Dallas the game after that. So for 2 more weeks, man, this guy will be a top 12 quarterback. We also have a wide receiver. He's got 3 names, man. He also has 5 touchdowns in the last 6 games he's played. That sounds like a flex to me. Remember, this is an early show. I'm shooting this before halftime of the afternoon show. So come back, look at the comments. I will add players as needed. I encourage you to do the same. Dude, waiver wires are super important. I can't get everybody. This is a group effort. I have all my notes typed out, but hold on for 7 seconds. All right, let's start off with the wide receivers. MVS is first up. I'm not talking CVS. That is a drugstore, all right? 14% rostered, 30% fab I'd spend on him if I had it. 2 receptions on 4 targets for 87 yards. He led his team in yardage last week, led his team in yardage this week, and a touchdown versus Cleveland. So 2 touchdowns on 14% target share last week in his first game, dude, in his debut game with Derek Carr. And that fool led the team in yardage. He did it again, all right, with another 14% target share. This guy does not need to be a huge part of the offense to get big points. It is Rashid Shaheed 2.0. Olave is on IR. Who knows when that fool's coming back? He got carted off and looked like it was really bad. He's on a bye next week, week 12, so you can get him for cheap. 13th best strength of schedule rest of the season for wide receivers. So average there. Pick him up. He is a perfect flex, man. You want a flex that can go boom for you. There is some risk because of the target share, though. Next up, man, Jalen Coker. People forgot about him as well. He was on bye this week. Go pick him up. 3.3% rostered, dude. Available everywhere. 5% fab I would spend on him. Led team in targets and reception yards week 10 before the bye. 32% target share. I know that they don't throw the ball that much, but still, dude, Jalen Coker. And as far as a flex PPR, he is that for you, an undrafted rookie. So he still is getting better, and he was drafted by Dave Canales, the actual head coach there. Thielen will eventually return, but I'm not too worried about that. The problem here is, though, he is versus Kansas City next week, and I don't start wide receivers versus Kansas City, so probably barely even a flex PPR next week for you. And then here we go, man. This guy right here has got 3 names. 1.6% rostered, available everywhere. 5% fab. 2 receptions, 6 targets, tied for the team lead. 117 yards, dude. That led the team versus Minnesota week 11. So I thought Ridley was going to be going off here. And then I looked into this guy, looked at his game log. This fool has a touchdown reception in 5 of the last 6 games. One. He's like Amon-Ra St. Brown. Nobody knows about him. And he doesn't have the big games either. He just has those little games. But still, dude, 21% target share this week. Same amount of touchdowns as Justin Jefferson and 1 more than CeeDee Lamb. He is at Houston week 12. They're giving up the 7th most fantasy points per game to wide receivers. So great matchup next week for Ekine. That is a flex, especially in PPR, man. And then Elijah Moore. He was my streamer of the week. Jerry Jeudy. I do apologize. I told somebody to start Elijah Moore over Jerry Jeudy because of the cornerback matchup, but I was wrong, man. You can't predict what's going on in Jameis Winston's head, all right? I started Tillman, for God's sakes. Look at me. Elijah Moore, 9.4% rostered, 5% fab. Dude, Jerry Jeudy's like 80% rostered, and Tillman's like 60-something. So this is the forgotten son here. He got 18% target share this week. That's not great, but he does have 29 targets over the last 3 games, man. Almost 10 targets a game from Jameis Winston, and now he got a red zone touchdown target. 23% target share with Winston, who's throwing the ball 40+ times a game. Dude, Winston throwing the ball 40+ times a game. Go check it out. It's shit's crazy. The problem is, man, versus Pittsburgh week 12, they're giving up the 10th fewest fantasy points per game, 24.1 to wide receivers. We have to go look at the slot matchup there. We'll check in on my Wednesday show, man. And then on to the tight ends. Jonnu Smith, this asshole right here, man, went off. 31.7% roster. This was the game of tight ends. He saw Brock Bowers on the side, and they're like, holy shit, man, we got to match that. 20% fab, 6 receptions on 8 targets. So that tied, I think, Tyreek Hill for the team lead in targets. He led them in yardage, 101 yards, man. So 2 touchdowns, week 11, probably tied in 1 on the week. 22.9% target share. Let's see, Raiders allowing the 5th most fantasy points to tight end. So It was an amazing matchup. But he has 6+ targets in 6 of the last 7 games, man. That is even pre-Tua. So Jonnu Smith is being more involved. That's why they said in the preseason we were kind of hyping him up because they said they brought him in to take some of the stress off of those downfield wide receivers. And it looks like it is happening. All right. So versus New England, week 12, they're giving up the 17th most. So average pretty much for tight ends. I like that matchup for Jonnu Smith next week, man. You can start him. Top 12 tight end. Then I got to talk about Taysom Hill. All right. Somebody asked me if he should start Taysom Hill today. And I was like, dude, no. That guy is averaging like, he gets no opportunity. And then out of nowhere, 7 rushes for 138 yards, 3 touchdowns, 8 receptions on 10 targets. I did not see that 10 target shit coming, man. For 50 yards? Also threw an interception, man. Versus Cleveland week 11. He's only playing 40% of snaps, averaging 7 touches, dude, and 50 total yards a game over the last month. And then this game happened. This happens every year. But hey, every year it happens for like 3 games. And with all the injuries here, we got MVS doing crazy shit. This might be happening for the next 3 games, maybe even more. So it is worth picking him up. It is worth a gamble. Outside top 22 tight ends in 2 of those 3 games, man. So I'm saying, all right, I think he was a top 5 tight end twice this year. Everything else has been outside top 22. So don't blame yourself for not playing for Taysom Hill. That shit was crazy. But next week, as far as tight end goes, if you do not have a reliable tight end, put in Taysom Hill, see what happens, man. Oh, I said next week. He's on a bye next week. The week after that, man. And he has the 8th best strength of schedule rest of the season. So that is looking pretty good for him. All right, man. Quarterbacks, dude. Quarterbacks. Daniel Jones, all right? I told myself, I cannot put him on this list. I cannot tell people to pick up Daniel Jones. But I was looking at strength of schedules or the next 2 games for quarterbacks. This guy's the best next 2 games for quarterbacks. Period. End of story. 15% rostered. 5% fab I'd spend on him. Quarterback 5, quarterback 13 over the last 2 weeks. That was due because of his rushing, man. 7+ rushing attempts and 1 rushing touchdown in each of those last 2 games. I'm a Tyrone Tracy owner. That shit pisses me off. Yes, Tampa Bay and Dallas over the next 2 weeks. Holy shit. All right. I even wrote that down. Holy shit. So Tampa Bay and Dallas. Tampa Bay the most. Dallas top 4. Now they're probably the most. Oh my God, dude. Even Jared Goff is throwing the ball a ton again. Was that today? I can't remember who that was. That was Jacksonville. Take that back. Houston. We'll see what CJ Stroud does against that. Versus Tampa Bay week 12. The most fantasy points per game to quarterback. So yeah, dude. Daniel Jones should be a top 10 quarterback. Top 12 quarterback for the next 2 weeks. Go pick him up. Matthew Stafford. All right. 28% rostered. 5% fab I spent on him. He does not throw the ball a ton. He only throws the ball around like 28, 32 times a game. I don't love that. 300 yards and 4 touchdowns pretty much versus New England week 11. So since he got all of his weapons back, man, 4 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns. He had that weird outlier game where they looked like shit last week. And then he came back through 4 touchdowns. So with Puka back, Kyron's there, everybody, Cooper Kupp, man, 2 more touchdowns than him. I streamed him all like for like a month at the end of last season. He was a top, I think, quarterback 7 for a month last year to end the season. It looks like that might happen as well. So only 2 quarterback 1 finishes on the season. He's not been doing great. And now he has Philadelphia week 12. And if you know me, I've been pushing Philadelphia for like 3 weeks. They allow like the fewest amount of everything, man. Rushing and passing. So I hate the matchup next week. But moving forward, Matthew Stafford should be able to get some starts in for you. Then Jameis Winston, dude. I started Jameis Winston. Jason told you to start Jameis Winston. He was our start of the week. 46 times, dude? He's available in like 95% of leagues. I do like Jameis Winston because they throw the ball so much. But I've got an issue with the schedule, man. I would not want to pick him up. I think I'm going to drop him. I think I'll probably just start Drake May. I don't know what I'm going to do, man. I got to think about this. He's got Pittsburgh, Denver, Kansas City over the next month, dude. So I don't know what you're going to do with that. All right. So good luck there. Versus Pittsburgh week 12, they're giving up the 2nd fewest fantasy points per game to quarterbacks. So 2 of the next 3 games against the 2nd best team against quarterbacks. Holy shit. That's going to be like 8 interceptions for him. And then, man, running backs real fast. I had Audric Estime. I was like, dude, I was pushing Estime so much after last game. And then to start this game off, dude, it was like 3 rushes for Javonte, 1 to Estime. So I had to put the fab down back to 40. He had an 82% running back rushing share last week. And that's already out the window, man. So I apologize about Estime. He was the only running back that I was thinking about, hyping up this week as well. But now I do not. He's at Las Vegas. They give up the 7th most fantasy points per game to running backs. They've actually been doing pretty well against the pass. You can run the ball a lot against the Raiders. So, hey, if he does okay this week, and maybe flex him next week. It sucks, man. I thought he was going to get the full workload again this week. And then here we go, handcuffs, man. Ray Davis, handcuff for James Cook. James Cook just already had a rushing touchdown last time I checked. Braylon Allen, Blake Corum, man, he was getting like four rushes to like what's his name? Kyren's like first 8 or 7 rushes. I was wondering what was going on there. And then it was all Kyren after that. And then again, dude, Trey Benson. If James Conner ever goes down, we're going to be saying Trey Benson's a league winner. So there you go there. And then Gus Edwards, I have to start Gus Edwards this week. It sucks. But man, I think he had like 10 rushes last week for 50 yards. Only a 25% snap count. I ate that. So those are all the running backs. I know it sucks. All right, everybody, that is the show. Thank you so much for watching. Again, man, leave comments down below on somebody I am missing, or come back and check again to see if I added anybody else. Hopefully I earned a thumbs up, man. If you actually did like this show, please give me a thumbs up. It gives me a higher chance to go out to more people, and that's exactly what this show needs. We also need more subscribers, man. Look at our subscribers, dog. We need you. We need your help. Please subscribe. This is Tyler Big Turd Ward. We have our trade targets coming out early next week. So check that out because the trade deadline's coming up real soon, man. One last chance to save your team, all right? Tyler Big Turd Ward, this is the Fantasy Red Zone, and I appreciate you.